Alright guys, gonna keep this intro fairly short. This is gonna be another track from scratch video. Last week I created one, had a lot of fun, so I thought I might follow it up with another one. Let's dive in. Okay, another empty Ableton Live session. How do we start? Today I feel like starting with a drum kit. So I'll just go through a few and see which one sounds good or sounds interesting. It doesn't always have to sound like a techno drum kit. You can also take some acoustic sounding drum kits, maybe start with them for a slightly different sound. So I'll just, again, drag it in, create a MIDI clip by clicking double click into one of these cells. And now I'll just create some kind of a kick groove, maybe increase the pattern length to 2 bars here. So let's go for 4 to the floor. Under 22 BPM. This is a very interesting sounding kit. Let's see if we can add some secondary kicks, maybe place them on the 8th notes here. Yeah, something like that. Maybe not as frequent. Nah, it's interesting sounding. Some toms. We got some toms here too. Nah. Let's see. Oh, nah. Usually I don't like placing my toms exactly where the kick starts, you know, on every 4th beat. Try to place them in between. Okay, that sounds good. So we'll take this first half and duplicate it over. Maybe we can leave those last tom out. See if we can add a clap here. And using command, you can drag down the velocity, as you can see here. Maybe instead of the clap, I want the snare. Bit more velocity here. And duplicate it. We got some hi-hats too, so let's go for... How do we want these hi-hats to play? Maybe a continuous 16, so we could hit B and just draw in a line here. Alternatively, we can also delete that and see if we can utilize the Ableton MIDI generator tool. So let's go into rhythm here. Select the hi-hat. So hi-hat, which one was it? Hi-hat closed, yeah. And then we can create some kind of a pattern here. Maybe a lot more density. Step duration, let's go for 16th notes, like this. And let's hit play. Dial down the minimum and maximum velocity range down here. Different pattern. Nice. Yeah, maybe increase the step length to 9 so we get irregular sounding rhythms. You know, 8 or 4, 8, 16. Those would be the regular sounding rhythms, but the odd numbers in between that gives you more polyrhythmic results. Interesting. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Really is a lot of fun. I think we're gonna stick with 8 though. Maybe we can add some open hi-hats in between. Let's see, open hi-hats. Do we have an open hi-hat here? Oh yeah, we do. Okay, you can see that this sample is not playing. How come? It's almost like it's being choked down. Why is it? Because it's in a choke group. Now, there's a special feature that comes with a lot of these drum kits or drum racks, which is called choke groups, meaning that if one hi-hat plays, the other one is choked down to give it less rhythmic overlap. And if you go into drum rack over here, open up the chain list, you can see all the sounds that are in your chain or in your drum rack. And some of these have been assigned to a choke group. You can see hi-hat close is in choke group 1. We have a total of 16. And let's see where hi-hat open is. Hi-hat open, there, hi-hat open is also in choke group 1. So meaning that if one plays, the other one will be choked down. So only one can play at a time. It's interesting to know. You can also create your own custom choke groups with the toms and whatnot. But for now, we're going to go back into the MIDI here. Yeah, it's just a lot more fun to play around with this. You see? Yeah, let's see if we got some more stuff that we can utilize from this kit here. Maybe the vinyl dirt. Ooh, I love sounds like this. Yeah, let's duplicate it over. Maybe some rides. I feel like these are too loud. Could add them a bit later. Maybe stack the clap here. Or the second snare. Yeah, this one sounds good. Let's take this, duplicate it over. I'm gonna dial down the velocity on the toms here just a bit. Yeah, with command and drag it down. Awesome, so we got ourselves a nice little groove here. Now we can go back into this panel, close down the chain list over here. Now what I usually like to do is I like to duplicate my existing kit, hitting Command D, and I'll rename this one into Kit 2. And Ableton Live has a ton of different kits that you can switch through. Let's play this kit for now. Hit pause here. So this layer plays. Gonna give it a different color too. You have this new feature in Ableton Live 12, which is called sample similarity swapping, that allows you to swap through the entire kit for sounds that sound similar. So I'm gonna do that. And this might give you some extra inspiration, or sometimes you can find elements that you can add as layers to your previous kit or to your existing kit. So kit number 2, we're just gonna keep on scrolling here. Yeah, sometimes you can find interesting sounds and just add a low cut EQ, take out all the low end and the mid range, and play that with your existing kit like this. And you can see if it complements your groove. Speaking of groove, let's add a bit of swing to all this. So I'm gonna go into the grooves folder here on the left, and I like the MPC swings. If you type in MPC, you get a ton of different groove options here. I usually like the MPC 3016. This one is usually quite nice. Let's open up the groove pool. So view, I forgot the shortcut, so I'm just gonna have to look it up here. So Command Option 6. Then we open up the groove pool. You can see I already have a couple of them preloaded here, my favorite ones. But if you want some new ones, you just drag and drop them into your groove pool here. You see? And I'm going to close it back down. If you go into a particular MIDI clip over here, for example, let's just solo this layer, double click it. Anything that you've loaded up in your groove pool, you'll be able to see in this grooves panel over here. And let's select the 1661, for example. The number after this basically determines the swing amount. So the higher the number here, 61, 64, 68, the more swing you're going to get. And swing basically delays the notes, especially the hi-hats. Gives it a bit more of a human vibe, as if somebody's actually playing this drum kit. So let's go for 64 and do that on the second clip as well. Go for 64. That might be a bit too much. Go back to 61, 61. I'll duplicate this kit number 2 again. Hit pause on here. Actually quite a tight sounding kit. Let's keep on scrolling though. Keep on going through the kit. For sound design purposes, it's really amazing. And if you don't want to go through all of the drums at the same time, you can just lock certain ones like this. Or you could just go through the kick, for instance, like this. You can find a lot of cool sounding layers this way. Again, we don't want the low end, so we'll just cut it out, maybe dial it down, and add that to our existing layer. Nice. And then again, you can switch your kit at any time. You know, you can just duplicate the main kit, the choral kit, hit pause here. I'm gonna go back into drums, see if we got a different kit here. Like this one. Just replace it and hit play. Okay, son. Try a different one. Can get so many cool results. Like, what is this? This gives you a starting point to a track, which is just, it's a lot of fun. Scrolling through drum kits is a lot of fun. And for me, this enabled me to find drum sounds that I wasn't looking for originally. Like usually when you get used to a sound, you get used to using the same types of sounds. But what this enables you is to just mess around and see if there's beauty within all the chaos that you can go through here. This one sounds really housey. Yeah, so much options, so many options. Yeah, and we can just low cut it and hit play. Maybe you can pan some layers on the left and right to give us some width. Pretty happy with how this sounds, yeah. And then when I feel like I've got myself a nice set of sounds, I then start adding loops. Shaker loops usually I start with because they fill out the groove quite well. I usually dial them from bottom to up, dial them in from -infinity upward. And then I just layer a couple shakers. And then maybe. And then I add some percussion loops that might go along well. However, here it's important to keep into mind that it can mess up your groove if you have too much percussion loops. So try to mangle them in a way that fits with your existing groove. Yeah, and in order to do that, you can double click a sound or a clip, change the warp mode to beats, forward transient, dial down the transient amount. Let's hit solo here. Mess with the pitch. See how that sounds with the rest. Is there any part that I like? Maybe this. Loop it, Command L. Maybe change it to 16th here so it reacts to every 16th instead of every transient. That's nice. Gives it a bit more groove. And you can also apply the swing here too. I don't like that last bit here, so what I'll do is click gain, go into envelopes and automate the gain so you just hear the first half like this. See, just da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da instead of. No, you take control of your entire groove, every element that you hear. Okay, sounds good to me. All right, what else can we add, man? At this point, I usually like to add some kind of a pad, something that directs the track into more of a melodic direction. I've used Roya a ton of times, and let's go to Yerevan, maybe synth, atmosphere loops. Something like this, I guess. Just chuck it in here, dial it down. Sounds very dubby. Maybe pitch it down. Okay, sounds okay. Shift tab to close down. Yeah, Shift tab, I use this command a lot to switch between these two panels. Mentioned that a lot in the past tutorials. I still stick with it. And let's call this like Atmos layer. give it a bluish color so we know that these are our atmospheres. And you can just highlight multiple ones and drag them in like this into one single layer so you can A/B test them with your kit. We take out the low end so it doesn't mess with our drums. Yeah, if you'd like to watch a more in-depth video on how to create pads, you can click the video somewhere up here in the description. Yeah. And sometimes you can also cut out the high end so it goes like this. That's nice sounding. Maybe add some reverb to it. Delay. Nice. Yeah, got yourself an idea for a track, you know. Check the key of this particular sound, which is an F sharp minor. And then we can continue adding sounds in the key of F sharp minor or F minor, for instance, and pitch it up 1/2 stone step. So from F to F sharp would be +1. So you add it, you hit play. Maybe up an octave, shift arrow up. Nice, man. Add some Duduks, or no, this is a vocal actually, excuse me. F sharp. Yeah, what we could do is just loop a particular section of this chord stab thing. Okay, pitch it down an octave, shift arrow down. Loop a section of our vocal. This is also something that I like to do. Just loop certain parts. And do the same for the synth, maybe, like this. Feels a bit more deep housey. Yeah, this kit is kind of aggressive, the choral kit, so I'll maybe switch it out for another one, you know. You can switch it out at any time. Go with whatever suits your vibe. I'll just duplicate it. Again, hit stop on this clip and I call this one chill. So I'm looking for more of a chill drum kit. I have a few in Organic House Essentials. I do distribute some of these kits in my packs. Some of them are also for free. You can just check out LotusTunes. So rack with samples. We got the Organic House Groove Creator kit here, for example. These are sounds that I frequently use. And just scroll through the kits here. Yeah, awesome. Maybe add one more bass sound somewhere. Do we have anything in F sharp minor here? Or F? Here. Yeah, sounds good. Chuck it in there. Sounds good straight out of the box. Needs some sidechaining though. I have this compressor loaded up by default. You can just type in compressor, audio effects, compressor. Double click it. I'll just do it for demonstration purposes here. So when you have the compressor opened or loaded up, you can open it. Sidechain input from your kick. In this case, we have our kick on chill. So let's select chill. And then you get this massive, unnecessarily massive list of all the samples that are within your kit. You just click on sample selector, kick, post mixer. So whenever the kick hits, you get that ducking effect. So then you can copy this compressor by hitting Command C and then paste it onto your other layers. And let's paste it on the vocal too. You can see how much gain reduction you're getting as well. Vocal, let's see. And pitch it down 5 halftone steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which would be a perfect fifth. Or up an octave, which would also be a perfect fifth, meaning 7 halftone steps. Complex Pro, change the warp mode to give it more shimmer. Add an auto filter maybe. Here's where it starts getting fun, man. Bandpass it. Add some LFO so it moves on its own. It's unfortunate that you don't see how it moves, but it is what it is. If you want, you can also add an LFO and do it manually. Modulators, LFO, map this to the frequency. So this would be the way to do it if you want to see the movement. Just put it into remote mode. Put it onto sync. Get more groove. Change it down. So that's one way of turning a vocal into some kind of synth. Put some filter delay on it. And I let the groove play to stay in this flow state. Helps to let the groove play and not hit pause all the time. Mess around with your timing here. Add another EQ to clean out some of the resonance, some of the frequencies that peak out, like here. Yeah, you can go crazy and spend a lot of time on these little nitty-gritty sound design things, but again, I want to continue with my track here, yeah? Okay, we can add another chord. Go to samples or all. F sharp M. What else we got? Yeah, maybe just add this here and then as a fill. A bit of reverb delay. Yeah, and then you can record whatever you got into your arrangement view. You hit tab. I'm going to disable the loop that I have here and just hit record. Don't need the chord to play that often. Yeah, that's enough. So we got, how many bars are these? 8 bars. Yeah, 8 bars is more than enough. So I'll cut out the rest here and hit convert to arrangement view. I'll make sure that all the clips are the same length. I don't want this one to play as often here, so I'll just delete this. Hit Command J. Create one clip out of it. There we go. So we got our foundation to our track as full as it needs to sound, and then we can just drag all these clips. Okay, that doesn't work, so let's just double click this loop. Make sure that all your clips are in loop, so you can just drag them out like this. Opa. Yeah, just drag it out for as long as you want them to be, like 6 to 7 minutes, and then you can start subtracting from the intro. Since we have a lot of these kit layers, we can introduce them one at a time. Of course, it would take a bit more work to double click and then individually blend in these sounds. But we can do something like this and take away the bass. Maybe this chord stab, add it in here. Let's work with a rougher grid like this. And yeah. You can also use an auto filter to gradually introduce elements like this. Chuck it on the pad layer and then just blend it in over time. Hit A to go into automation mode. Kick shakers in the intro. Gradually introduce the synth, which is this one here. It's slowly coming in. Of course, you could also, again, you can chop out certain parts of your clip like this one. Just hit the Command E to split it from the rest. Give it a different color so I know that it's a different clip. And then here, for example, I can take away the hi-hats, maybe a few of these snares and clap sounds. So we start very subtle. Okay, I think the clap is coming from somewhere else. Go through the layers here. Where's the clap coming from, guys? That's mildly confusing. Scroll through these kits here. Okay, it's the textural percussion loop. Gotcha. Just, start really slowly here. And you can also, for these percussion loops, you can gradually blend them in. If you don't want to introduce them all at once, go like this. Maybe over a longer period of time. Same applies to everything. Anything that comes in too quickly, auto filter on it, and then introduce it over 8 bars or 16 bars. This section, for example, here we can take away the kick. So what we'll have to do is highlight it, hit Command E to chop it out from the rest, give it a different color, and take away the kick. So we know that these little orange sections, we can rename them. Command R, no kick. So we can use this in later parts of the track as well, like here. Nice. I feel like adding some kind of ear candy here. So how can we add stuff without adding stuff? Huh? It works. You can take stuff and make more stuff out of it. Yeah, just create an audio track and make sure that resampling is enabled. Record arm it. And what you can do is, let's solo a couple of the percussion layers that we have here. So if you hit Command and S, you can solo multiple layers at once. I think this is a setting that you can change. So I'll just go into settings and show you what I have enabled in order for this to work. Yeah, and in the panel record, warp and launch, you can see exclusive arm and solo. I have these both enabled. That means that whenever I hit solo on a particular track, it's going to be the only one that's soloed. Same for this arming button, yeah? But if you hit Command, you can bypass that and solo multiple tracks at once. Same applies to the arming button. Yeah, so I'll just select a few layers, drum layers, like this, this, and that, all at once, and hit record on the resampling layer. So all these 3 tracks are going to be the only ones resampled into this audio layer. See, so we get our own little drum sound. And now we can manipulate this. You take away the low end, hit shift and drag the clip like this. So we stretch it. How else we can manipulate it? Texture, change the pitch. Okay, let's change the BPM here. Yeah, stuff like that. Just test around with the different warp modes, the BPM here. And then you can place it wherever the frick you want, add a ton of reverb and delay, and then it becomes an ear candy. You see, stuff like that, that's creative. Try using stuff that you already have in your track and make it into something new instead of always adding. This is how you facilitate your creativity. So let's go into audio effects. Resonator is something that I like to use to turn drum sounds into tonal information. So there's a ton of presets that you get here. Valhalla, Vienna, take one, change. Oh, we're gonna have to change the root note to, what is it? F sharp. I don't like this preset. Let's take another one. You see? This one's like really dubby. Let's change it again. The root note to the key of our track, which is F sharp. Yeah, man. It turned a random sample, a drum sound, into a dub chord. Congratulacie. And then we can take this sound, put it here again, maybe pitch it up an octave, and change this to, instead of F sharp 1, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, which is a B. All that's just stemming from these resonated drum sounds. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, but I want this to be automated, so maybe we can start with the B first. Click this button, go into automation mode, and whoop, I can't see anything. Yeah, go B, and then go down to the F sharp here in the second one. Place it. These are some really good sounding sounds, dude. Same with this little dub chord stab that we have here. We can just create a new audio track. Just take it like this, Command E, and then put it on the second layer. Oops, did it wrong. Why? I need to hit Option. So where you see this plus icon appear on the little thingy. And just duplicate it over. Again, what can we do? Mess around with the pitch. Maybe go -5, which is perfect fifth. Mess with the BPM preferably. Change the warp mode to texture. Test around a bit more. Tones. Let's add an additional warp marker here so we get to manually stretch the sound. Double click to create these warp markers. Let's go shift arrow up to pitch it up an octave. Ton of reverb and delay. And let's go crazy like this. Texture. Yeah, fantastic. Maybe what else can we add to make it more interesting? Grain delay. Change the pitch here to -7 or up an octave. +5. Yeah. Ah, delete it. I think you understand the point, yeah? Let's take away the kick here, so copy this section. Yeah, and that's basically it. Create a larger break here. And fill out the empty space with some ear candy. Take away the bass in the break here. Filter down the chords in the break. the atmospheric stuff, we want to go down. Maybe bring it back up like this, or we could suddenly introduce them in the chorus here in the main section. Take away the drums maybe here. Nah, it sounds whack. I'll just keep the drums here. I'm gonna keep this very subtle, not like an actual build-up, like with a lot of risers. Maybe take away a few of these drum kits here. And the shakers too. And automate the reverb on this percussion layer. These are just things that I find to be interesting to automate the reverb and delay on certain layers that you want to fade into the drop, into the chorus. I would need to fill out the space with some more melodic stuff, preferably. And we're back into the chorus. This laser vocal thingy we can also fade down. Like this. Yeah. So we need an element that takes the focus here in the break. Something melodic, something new. So it's going to samples, maybe like a Duduk, something interesting. Do we have any Duduks in F sharp minor? Yes, we do. Yeah, something like this. Put it here, dial down the volume. Make sure that it's in the right BPM, which is 110. 110. Put it in the second half. Also, we can automate the reverb on this one too. Delay, yeah, the break is where it gets really fiddly, but very creative as well. I'll just take away this part here. Ooh. Yeah, see how much more, how much that fills out this emptiness in the chorus, in the break, I mean. This little sample here. But if you have a sound like a Duduk or something that's very unique, suddenly coming in the break, it can be a little surprising. It can be a little too much at once. So the way to bypass that is to take parts of it, like this, for instance, hit Command E to chop it out, and maybe introduce it earlier on in the track or earlier on throughout the entire track, but a little more subtle and a little more affected. And the way to make things more subtle is by adding autofilter. Autofilter, and perhaps just automate parts of the sound. For example, here it's very low in the background, here it's a little more in the foreground, and here it's all the way in. You know, so you kind of tease it along the way, but it suddenly cuts off, so I'll just add a little bit of reverb onto the track directly because I'm feeling a bit lazy now. Usually I put this on my sends, but this is okay now. Maybe select a different part. So if you hit Option and Shift, you can scroll within the clip itself without moving parts of the clip like this and going really edity. So you can just hit Option Shift and scroll through the sound. I like this one here. Yeah, let's take the Duduk and just place that little part here a little more throughout the track. So exit automation mode, copy, paste. Kind of like this dum 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 dum. Sounds like Pink Panther a bit. Option drag. And maybe pitch this up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nah. Just like this. Yeah, just chop your way through your track. Take elements, copy paste them, select different parts. This little stuff is what makes the track interesting. Take your chord information, the ear candy, copy paste it over. Introduce more small breaks where the kick suddenly is off, like this. And what you could always do for the chorus is also take away all the drums and introduce kind of like this contrast drop is what I like to call it. A drop where you just hear the kick and the bass. This is great because it gives you some space to introduce the elements later on. This can be quite a challenge. I must admit, sometimes it doesn't work. But if you have a solid core groove with decent elements, like here you got a kick and a bass groove that very well fits to each other, it can actually work quite well. And the hi-hat, maybe we can take it out. I kind of like it though. Let's leave it in. By hitting 0, you can disable and enable sounds. And sometimes you can also trial and error, take away some sounds like this, like the vocal. Also the synth. So you get this contrast, you know? And you hear that snare here? Maybe we can take this snare and chop it out using Command E and create like a little build out of it. And something like this. You know, just get creative. Make sounds out of the sounds that you already have. Yeah, and I'm going to introduce all the drums back in here and add a bit of tension by taking this no kick section, putting it here too. Synths we can add a bit later. Yeah, that's it. Oh. Introduce these slowly. I accidentally disabled the automation, so I just hit this button to re-enable it. So let's introduce these slowly, slowly, slowly. Do we have an auto filter here? No, we don't. And remember that choral kit that we had in the beginning that we never ended up using? There might actually be a sound in here that you may end up using, like the ride. For example, I'll just disable all these stuff and place the ride a couple times. Like this. Opa, what am I doing? Like this. So I'll take the clip, just drag it and hit tab while dragging, and I can drag it here, for example. Call this one ride. So you can repurpose elements, make use out of something that you originally ended up wanting to trash. And the rides like these add a lot of energy. You know, like a techno-y type ride. Maybe we can add this a bit later though. Lovely, I like it. And at this point, I wouldn't add too much more because the track's vibe is already determined. The more I add, the more I drift away from the original intention or the vibe of the track. Now it's just about making more out of what I already have instead of adding more on top. So less is more, yeah? I think I'm just going to shorten down the track here. It's way too long. So I'll just go like that. Take away the ride. And construct the outro. From here, take away the shakers. Blend down the synthy stuff. Auto filter. Using the auto filter, you can also gradually blend out elements over a longer period of time. That also works quite well. Do that for the vocal too. So, little lag there. Let's keep it like this. A little bit of a DJ outro here. There we go, that's our track. That's our full entire track here. All right, there we go. Let's give it another playthrough here. Add a bit of auto filter to the sound too. Always hit save. Nice. I'll skip this section over here. If you don't want a section to play, you just hit Command-Shift-Delete and it Ripple deletes it. It's a fairly short track here. Yeah, and using these locators, when you right-click them, rename, you can add stuff that you'd like to note. For example, to empty, more work on transition or something like that. And if you want to create these locators, you just right-click when you see this loudspeaker, add locator. Yeah? Yeah. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. This style of video was very loose and organic. If you feel like it was too complicated, too fast, let me know in the comments below. But if you want more videos in the style like this, then also let me know down below so I know what to create. All the best to you guys. If you want these samples, grab them on LotusTunes.com. I will see you in the next video. Peace.